Carson was the top ROTC student in the city of Detroit. In that role, he was invited to meet General Westmoreland. He believes it was at a banquet. He can't remember with specificity their brief conversation, but it centered around Dr. Carson's performance as ROTC City Executive Officer. He was introduced to some folks from West Point by his ROTC supervisors. They told him they could get him an appointment based on his grades. He considered it, but in the end, he did not seek admission. So Politico editorialized it saying, when presented with this evidence, Carson's campaign conceded the story was false. And they did not concede the story was false. They're basically explaining this is kind of what he meant. And you know what? The media did not call out Obama after the fact when it was proven that he had tons of lies in his biography. That's just not what they do. So Ben Shapiro broke this story that this fabrication was in fact on part of Politico, and then Politico was forced to alter their headline and issue an embarrassing editor's note. So you can always count on the media to propagandize against Republicans, even if Carson is making some outrageous claims. David Knight is going to certainly be fired up about Ben Carson tonight, so you want to be sure to get his commentary on that. So it'll be very interesting to see how tonight's moderators handle this debate. They're going to be focusing on the economy, their tax plans, and other topics. We are going to be here live, crashing through the lies in real time. Be sure to tweet us at @RealAlexJones. Use the hashtag GOP debate. We love interacting with you, and we'll love to answer a lot of your questions. So we'll all be here live, crashing through the lies in real time. Now, we've got a highlight reel coming up for you from, some of the previous debates and all of their crappy questions that they were asked. Do you think they're going to be asking some real good questions this time, getting to the bottom of what's going on here within our country? Why don't you tweet us the questions you would like to ask these presidential candidates, and we'll be sure to read them live on the air using the hashtag GOP debate. We'll be right back after this.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Vote for Jeb, or you're just fucking stupid.
Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You traitors claiming I'm a Ruski agent, say it to my face and I'll break your nose. I'm sick of it. I will stomp your head in the ground, you traitorous maggots, while we go under Obamacare, North American Union, conquered by European banks, announcing our kids don't belong to us, total bondage, total surveillance, and you want to shoot your mouth off about me being a Ruski agent. I will stomp your head in the ground.
Never water yourself down just because someone can't handle you at 100 proof. It's the Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
I wish we could go back to the days, I'm telling you, of just getting my satisfaction out in the street. You pick a sword or something else, you're going out in the street. I'm not kidding, you cowardly scum. Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction. easy assembly, low maintenance, replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139. The knowledge of the ancients, tried and true, trusted herbs and extracts fused with the latest nutraceutical science. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. For the last 2 years, our team has been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to develop the ultimate nutraceutical formulation. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. Now is the time to secure Ancient Defense for you and your family. Visit ancientdefense.com or call 888-253-3139. That's ancientdefense.com. Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life Vitamin B12 formulation. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. That's why for real results, so many are having to turn to painful B12 injections, which are known to have higher absorption rates. Now, InfoWarsLife.com is excited to announce that we can bring you our most bioactive, powerful form of B12 that has been developed with our exclusive perfected process. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Well, the new James Bond movie's been out in the United States for more than a week. James Bond, Spectre, with Daniel Craig. First off, I like Daniel Craig as an actor, but I really didn't like him as James Bond in the last few films. And quite frankly, the previous films, I only watched for their entertainment value as unintentional comedy. Now, some of the Ian Fleming books, he was a high-level MI6 spy, are very interesting and have, well, let's just say plots that parallel reality, like Moonraker, an elite plan to biologically wipe out 99% of the human race and repopulate it with superhumans. That's a globalist, eugenicist plan that's been on the drawing board for more than 60 years. But most of the stuff you see in James Bond movies is pro-anti-terrorism, police state propaganda. It's British Crown, MI6, MI5, police state promotion. That said, I went and saw last week Spectre, and it is undoubtedly the best James Bond movie I've ever seen for the action, the adventure, but mainly the content. Without giving away too much, I'll just say this. It basically discredits the police state spy grid, the NSA spy grid, the British spy grid, the European spy grid, the global spy grid, and explains that spy grids end up being used against the system itself and are used by criminals to oppress the people. And that criminals are using staged terror attacks or false flag terror attacks, self-inflicted wounds inside jobs to force governments themselves to acquiesce to the NSA-style surveillance grid. So this is a very pro-Snowden film. It's also a very nationalistic film. It's very pro-nation state, explaining that countries are firewalls against one great tyranny or one great ring in the darkness binding us all. Now, earlier I talked about previous James Bond films basically being comedy, and they are. But one vein that runs through the franchise since the early 60s, when Sean Connery first starred as the MI6 hero, is the fact that there are shadowy organizations like Spectre or Chaos or Cobra or Hydra that have operatives within government that use government compartmentalization to basically turn government into nothing but automatons or engines of their criminal enterprises. Extortion, murder, mass terrorism. But this film ties it all together and shows how Spectre, symbolized by the octopus or by the Hydra, is actually in control of every major government on Earth. And when you realize what Bilderberg, what Club of Rome is, you understand that literally that's what globalism and the New World Order is private corporate operatives who've given themselves diplomatic immunity through the UN and other multinational governmental organizations who are actually funding ISIS, actually funding currency devaluations, actually funding right-wing terrorist groups in Ukraine, actually having CNN endorse the Muslim Brotherhood while they blow up and burn down churches in Egypt. And when you pull back and realize that Spectre, like a face sucker from Alien, is in control of our major governments and has us hatching out new legions of tyrants for them, you understand what the New World Order is and why it wants an above the law, global, cashless society controlled by a corporate oligarchy. This film is excellent. It's extremely informative. And on so many fronts, it's revolutionary. And when you investigate it, organizations like Goldman Sachs admit that they're installing their executives as the presidents of major countries like Italy, Greece, and other nations. It is simply over the top. In summation, what does a film like Spectre tell us? It tells us a lot. There are people inside the system that don't like what's happening and are trying to use art to not just be propagandists for the establishment, but to tell the truth. Or maybe they're still propagandists for the establishment, but they realize that the public's already woken up to what's happening, so at least they give us simulated victories in movies, in the Matrix, so we feel like everything's okay. That's the more pessimistic view. I tend to think it's a little bit of both. But what we do know is the world is waking up, the world is taking action, the world is saying no, and real life James Bonds in local government, in state government, in federal government, in multinational government, in international systems, from the top to the bottom, are saying no, are waking up, and are realizing the paradigm that we're in a controlled, manipulated system, and they're beginning to break out of that matrix. And it's not just movies like James Bond Spectre in 2015 that are telling the truth. No, my friends, it's films like The Last Captain America, where again, a shadowy criminal group, another octopus, Hydra, has its operatives within government multinationally and is bringing in a global tyranny in the name of protecting the public from terrorists they run and control. Some people will rightly ask me, why are you covering fiction? Why are you giving Hollywood blockbuster movies a review? Why are you telling us go see it? Because when we vote with our dollars, when Hollywood does something good, we should support it. That's Pavlovian conditioning to produce more that's enlightening, more that's informative. Yes, we have a stick as well, but the carrot is the real way to change society. That's why they want to end free speech with political correctness. That's why they want review boards to control what you can say, because they don't want an open market of ideas, because freedom is popular. We simply need to legalize freedom again. I spend 95% of my time promoting alternative media, new media, independent films. But when a film comes along like Captain America, or when a film comes along like Equilibrium a decade ago, or some of the other films like The Hunger Games exposing the police state, we've got to promote the good aspects of it. And a lot of times I'll give a film 2 or 3 stars out of 5 if it did an okay job, or 2 or 3 Paul Revere's out of 5. Rarely do I give a film 5 stars, but I've got to say, despite some of its problems, this film gets 4.5 stars. It loses half a star because they act like MI6 are the good guys completely and they're totally fighting evil and are perfect. When the truth is, if there was one organization that I had to say was Spectre-like, it would be MI6, MI5, or the Central Intelligence Agency. And that's because they're so big, they're so old,